My son's original Sandbox disintegrated in a few years, and so I decided to replace it with something a bit more over the top. My goals were to reuse existing materials as much as reasonably possible, and to try and stretch my abilities while I was at it. I made a template for the roof beams out of hardboard, so they were only used to trace on a pattern rather than be used to guide a router bit or similar to that. Since I was reusing my leftover lumber, none of it was pressure treated, so I tried to go overboard with priming and painting. I'm giving a taste of the painting here, but in reality, a good 70 to 80% of the time taken up by this project was painting on layers after layers on seemingly infinite parts. And I hate painting. Blech. I tried to reuse the sand as well, even though it was largely a cat litter box at this point. It reeked when shoveling it. I filtered it pretty extensively for putting it back though. I think I might cover that in the next video. I made the foundation out of spare blocks I had laying around and tried to keep it as level as possible. That did require importing some fresh dirt that I could pack down. Handily, I have a random pile of dirt in my backyard. I attached everything with composite exterior screws. Watch the shadow line in this next sequence to see just how long it took me to do this. I I didn't want this blowing away in the wind, so the base is attached to the blocks. Harbor Freight rotary hammer drill for the win! Next up is cutting the posts to accept the angled roof beams. The roof beams are attached using Simpson strong ties. They're not ideal, but they did the job in the end. Next up is the lateral support beams, for which I initially wasted several weeks trying to come up with a way to cut the proper compound angles. In the end, I just punted and did them in a far simpler way, requiring only one 45-degree cut and then one mostly custom angle, but on the table saw. I made the seats out of primed finger-jointed pine. Turns out that the glue I used was well past its expiration date, and so it and the brad nails were nowhere near enough to keep the eventual cover in place. I talk about that in a lot more detail in the cover video. And believe it or not, now we get to the primary reason for creating the sandbox in the first place: reusing some leftover metal roofing I had lying around. Yes, I literally started this entire project just as an excuse to use up some of these panels. No joke. Turns out that a cheap carbide blade for a circular saw cuts through this metal like butter. Wish I had known this when we constructed this metal garage that I'm in right now. I had some leftover sheet metal screws which aren't ideal for screwing into wood, but they were the right color. I did have them on hand, and they did work. The final step for the primary build was painting the seat with a paint color roughly matched to the roof. And there we go. It's a functional sandbox at this stage, but I wasn't about to put the sand back until I first made the cover. A sandbox without a cover is just a litter box. This build ended up taking a lot longer than I thought it would and generated some 300 photos and over 5 hours of raw footage. Even with extreme editing, it was a challenge for me to get this down to maybe like 20 something minutes or so and such. I split this into 2 different videos. The first video is the one that you just watched. The second part is going to be me finishing up the sandbox plus actually building the cover right here. You can see that one right here when it goes live. And I suggest maybe subscribing to my channel. If you do, then you'll get notified when it goes live. Or don't, whatever. As always though, thanks for watching.